Okay, we are live. Hmm. Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing today? Um, Welcome to the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So, I'm trying to get set up real quick before. There we go. Oh, perfect. So, we have somebody I am so excited to see, and I have not seen in
like 10 years.
10.
It's been about,
Has it been?
probably about, I haven't been in the clubs for 10 years, so around that time.
Okay. Because for some reason I always stand back. Well, hold on. First of all, I'm sorry. I was rushing and I am sweating to death. So excuse me if y'all catch me adjusting myself. But this is Tiffany, aka Orion. She is amazing.
You're amazing.
For one of the words I can use
Can I
for
just
you.
say I love being called Orion again? It just like makes me so happy because it's been so long. I'm like, yeah, damn right I am.
Yo, when I was told, I don't know if you told me your name or if somebody else told me your name, but I was like, oh my God, I've never heard that name and I love it. And for some reason it was like perfect fit for you.
Thank you.
It's
I
like
never
when you
changed
see
it.
when you see you
my whole life.
really.
My first name, last name, only name.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Because that's rare.
Yes.
Because normally when girls go to different clubs, they change their name.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you have done if there was an Orion?
There never was, so I didn't have to worry about it.
You definitely picked.
I'd say I'm a better Orion. You need to switch.
Listen, that's how you're supposed to step in.
And then I would prove it.
But when you see you, you think that name fits you. I don't know why. I just feel like that name has always fit you. Like, you know how there's some girls where it's like, oh, my name is Alexis, and it's like, no, bitch, you need to be a Pinto.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
Like, that name fits you.
Thank you. And when I was like trying to find a name, I wanted something that was like kind of weird that it stuck out, but wasn't so off the wall that it wasn't believable. Yeah. It was like in that kind of gray area. Yeah. So you remembered it, but you weren't just like, okay, really.
Right. But you also went smart about it to pick a name that you most likely weren't going to hear at any other club to where you had to change your name. So,
girl, I ain't gonna remember names. You know how hard it was to adapt to Orion?
Girl. Well, first of all,
and then by the end, I didn't hear Tiffany. You know, like people like, I've been calling you,
right?
And I'm like, you called me once. They're like, no, I called you Tiffany like 4 times before I said Orion, and then you heard me.
Yeah, and that was my issue going to different clubs. It would be like, Sunshine, you're to the stage, and I'm like, my name's DIOR. What the fuck are you talking about, Sunshine? It was like, oh shit, they're talking about me. Oh, I'm coming. Present. Always late. Tony's in the room.
Tony.
Hi, Tony. Tell my boom baby. Jakey Binky. Hey, Alicia. Okay, so I want to start off with us.
Yes.
We'll go back to how you got into dancing and all that in a minute, but I want to speak on us because so many people loved us together, dancing together. Not only this, a lot of people know I have the huge back piece. I think when we first met, my back piece wasn't finished, was it?
I don't think it was.
Yeah, I don't think it was either. Mm-mm. And I don't think yours was either.
Might not have been. It might not have. It might not have been, honestly.
Yeah, I see. That's the one date. That's the one thing I can't remember is my tattoos. Like when I got them, how long it took. That's the one thing I don't remember.
I definitely got it done. Like my back was done here.
Yeah,
in Delaware, not back home. Right. So it probably wasn't done.
Okay.
Back then.
But that's that's one thing that brought us together. We both had huge back pieces. So people know I have my big wings. She has a huge tribal back piece. Is it in one of the pictures you sent? Okay.
Yep.
So if you're on any of the social media platforms that I posted her on, then you'll be able to see her back piece. But we dance the same. And when I mean that, I mean the slow, the sensual.
Yep. It was like very graceful and elegant.
Yes.
You know, it was very accentuating curves and, you know, just, it was just awesome.
You know,
Chris, lots of spins.
Yes, but Chris always used to say, we moved like we were dancing in the Matrix.
I can see that. I never thought of that, but that's kind of
when he said that to me, and I was like, oh my God, that makes sense.
It does. It really does.
Because like when you try to explain your dance rhythm to someone, unless they see it, you really don't know how to explain it. But when he said that to me, I was like,
that makes sense.
Oh my God, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Because we did. It was like we were in sync.
And we weren't trying to be, which is crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we both just like our steps were in the same steps. Our motions were in the same motions. And even if we weren't like doing the exact same motions at the exact same time, like it looked like it was supposed to be. Which was it was just crazy, which was always fun being up there with you.
So I just had to touch that because I genuinely miss that.
I did
miss
too.
Being on stage with you, and I didn't get on stage with a lot of girls. Tony knows that, you know that, a lot of people know that. I was very picky because when you're on stage with somebody, you share your money with that person as well. A lot of people don't know that. So even if my customer comes up and throws $200 in the air,
if it's on my side, it's mine.
That's how a lot of girls think. But it shouldn't be like that.
Agreed.
But two girls that don't deal with each other will think like that. And they'll honestly get on the floor and start moving money to their side. And it's like, bitch, my customer threw that 200. But that's why I liked getting on stage with girls that I dealt with, because I don't care if my customer threw $300. I'm still going to break bread with you because you're my babe.
Right.
And I know at the end of the day, he's going to treat me good regardless.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
And most of the time, I think I would give more money to you guys than than splitting it down the middle.
Right.
I know I definitely did that with Shay and there are a couple girls down in Dover, but and it wasn't anything like you need this more than me.
Right.
It's just for the simple fact is that I love you.
It's a respect and appreciation thing.
Yeah, and like I said, I know he's going to take care of me. Right. So why not just give that to you?
Yeah.
So let's backtrack. Did you know anything about dancers, strip clubs before you started dancing?
Nothing.
So
like zero.
What did you think of dancers?
I didn't know. I didn't even know what it is.
Really?
Like swear on everything. So how I got introduced, right? And it sounds cliche and like, my 18th birthday, I had some really amazing gay friends, drag queens, whatever. And they took me to where I'm from. It could be 18 in Toledo. I don't know if it's still like that around here now, but whatever. So they took me to like all the sex stores, you know, like, and this is my first introduction to like anything. my family, God bless them, I love them to death, but they're like very
closed off.
Not closed off. We just didn't like see stuff. You know what I mean? It just wasn't like there.
Yeah.
I got older and I learned more, and I don't want to know certain things, but innocent, no, they are not, but they hit it very freaking well. I'll tell you that.
Right.
So they took me to a strip club, and I was like, wow, this is cool. And we were at like the Tippers Row area. I didn't realize what putting money in front of somebody, like what that entailed. Boots in the face, like no clue. Zero zilch zip nada.
Wow.
And they put money in front of me and they were like, oh, it's for your soda that's coming. And next thing I know, I have boots in my face and I'm like, what is happening in life?
Every time.
And then like me and just my crazy brain and how I work, right? Like I'm just looking around and I'm just so like this is so, like, I want to understand this. I want to know this.
Right.
Like, how
So
does
you
this
didn't
work?
have a negative look on it.
No, I was so curious.
So, okay, were they topless? Were they nude? What was the club?
Back then, this was in Toledo, Ohio. It was full nude.
Oh. So you still, even though it was full nude, you still didn't have a look where it was like, ew.
I wanted to, like, so you gotta understand, I'm a psych major. I always knew I was going to be in psych in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
So it's like it was so foreign to me, but it was so like crazy and glamorous. And I'm like, how in the hell is this girl just like, what is she saying? What is she doing?
Right.
How do you get dances? Like,
Right.
I don't get that.
So you were more intrigued.
I was intrigued. Like, I wanted to know how it worked.
Okay.
So then I found out about amateur night.
Of course.
And I did amateur night horribly. And then I started working at it was Deja Vu in Toledo, Ohio, as a cocktail waitress. Because
that's how we all started out.
Well, and the other thing is, I knew nothing about this world.
Right.
So I just kind of wanted to like be in it a little bit.
Yeah.
But like not like be in it.
Right.
So I just kind of like served my drinks and watched and just
took it all in.
What it, you know, and I'm like, I kind of want to see what it's about. Like, I want to be the person like talking to people more, not just serving drinks. So it was like 6 months after I started waitressing, I switched over to dancing.
So it wasn't the money. It was you were honestly intrigued and you wanted to know.
I wanted to understand this lifestyle was I wanted to understand it.
Oh my God, that's a first.
Isn't that crazy?
That's the honest to God first I've ever heard that, and I have been in this business for 20 years.
I knew nothing about, like, I knew people got paid. You know what I mean? I knew money was given. I knew people were making great money.
Right.
I just didn't understand it. Like, I don't get it. Like, why? Why is this happening? Why?
This is amazing me. Because it's, I'm telling you, and I'm pretty sure you know this, every girl that you talk to, they get into this business starting out as a waitress, and then they see the money, and it's like, I want the money. It's never honest. It's never, I just really wanted to know. I really wanted to know what this was. I wanted to get it.
Like, I wanted to understand it, you know, and it's like, there's these gorgeous girls and, you know, people that they've never met, and they're just spending all this money on them. Like, wow. Why? Like, why is this happening? You know, and I was more impressed with like the girls, you know, like, how are you doing this? Like, I want to know more.
Yeah.
So I switched to dancing. And then I was working day shift because and granted, my first club was a nude club, you know, like full on.
Okay. So I was listening to you. I was reading the comments, but I was listening to you. So the club that you went into with your friends wasn't the same club that you decided to work at.
Nope.
Okay, but the club that you ended up working at was still a full nude club.
All of Toledo at that time was full nude.
So you went all in.
Yeah, there was no such thing in my area as a topless bar. They didn't exist.
Oh, you jumped in balls deep.
Yeah, I sure did.
Oh my gosh.
And crazy enough, again, my crazy brain, right? I was not worried about being on stage naked in front of strangers. I was worried because I knew I looked like Bambi in my heels and didn't know what the hell to do on a pole. And I'm looking at all these girls, right? And they're so graceful. And you know, the way that they would move their body and they arch and they were so smooth and like, oh my God, pole tricks, don't even get me started. I'm like, oh my God, I want to be you when I grow up.
Now, hold on. I have to pause this real quick, and I don't mean to interrupt. Listen, we just sat here and said when we first started, we've known each other for a long time, but we haven't seen each other in almost 10 years. I did not know any of this. And this is the honest to God truth. We never really, and I said this before we started, I asked her if there was anything she didn't want me to touch on. And she's like, no, everything's fine. And I said, well, there's really nothing there's nothing I know about your personal life. We never really sat down and had an intimate conversation. So as you guys are learning this, I'm learning this, and I'm in awe right now. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this show.
Yeah. It's always
because
different for every
everybody is
single
different.
person.
Exactly.
And I think that's important to, for what this show's about, right? It's more than just what people think it is.
Exactly.
Like, yes, there are those stigmas that everybody has. Sure, you're going to find that in any club you go to, but that's not the only thing you're going to find.
Right.
You know what I mean? Some of those girls who say they're in nursing school really are in nursing school.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but some of them,
right.
and there's so many stories, there's so many reasons, there's so many like amazing people that I met in the clubs, that I'm grateful for my experience.
Yeah.
And I
we got to get back to you with this naked dancing thing, because I'm still
yes, girl.
I gotta hear this. Okay, so you decided to go from waitressing, cocktail server to dancing full nude.
Yep.
So how'd that go?
Like I said, I wasn't, and I'm not saying I had the greatest body, because I wouldn't say I was even comfortable with my body. I mean, I was 18 years old,
right?
But I was more intimidated and scared, knowing that I was going on stage looking like absolute shit. And that's why I started working day shift. And go ahead.
So yet again, I'm sorry to interrupt. So when you came into it, it wasn't anybody saying, we're going to teach you, this is what you should wear. This is none of that.
Nope, nothing.
Wow. See, when I got into it, we had, how we have house moms now? We had a house dad. And he took me shopping.
We didn't have that at
all. That.
We didn't have
of course, he didn't teach me how to dance, but like he went and bought me shoes, bought me clothes. Wow.
Nothing.
So how did you learn how to dance?
So the club at the time, there was like a separation, right? So this was like your main stage and floor, and then there was a bar, and then behind the bar there was another little side stage for like the overflow if it was crowded.
Right.
And then if it was crowded, we open up those two stages and go. I spent hours upon hours upon hours on day shift when nobody was there, on that backstage by myself.
Wow.
Just trying to figure it out. The hardest thing, I kid you not, it took me to learn, spins.
Oh yeah.
Spins were the hardest thing I ever learned.
Absolutely.
But yeah, because I wanted to not be the best, but at least not look like an idiot every time I went up there. Yeah. So I just spent time back there and spun and spun and spun, and there were mirrors all around, so I can like figure out my angles and like how do I need to arch, or like what does this look like? Oh no, that don't look good.
Right.
And just kind of taught myself.
So what did the people in the club think? Like, did they say this bitch is crazy? Like,
I didn't really talk to anybody. You know what I mean? I've kind of kept the same MO throughout the course of my dancing career. Like, talk friendly, whatever, but like I don't get too close.
Right.
You know what I mean? Some people, just like anybody, they're gonna know more than other people would. But as a whole, like, pleasant, polite, hey, how you doing, whatever, but kept my head down. I'll talk if you want to talk, and if not, I'm okay with that too. But I didn't really, they were saying stuff I never knew, because my ass was on the backstage or on the pole trying to learn my spins.
Right.
So yeah, just.
So how long did it take you to get it all together before you thought you were where you needed to be?
Where I needed to be?
Or where you wanted to be?
Where I wanted, years and years and years, to where I was like, yeah, I'm good.
Right.
I'm good. But to get semi-comfortable to where I didn't feel like an idiot, like a good 6 months.
Okay. Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah.
Maybe a little longer, but yeah.
But your thing, I think, from the time that we spent dancing together, your thing, you were a spinner. I was more the climber, but you were a spinner. I could never get into spinning. I was not, scared to death. I thought I was gonna get, especially when I drank, like I'm gonna go flying off the pole.
So you might be exactly even keeled.
Yeah, or like a shoe go flying, because back then I had the strapless heels, so like I was scared shitless. But I have to give it to you, spin girls, because listen, that takes strength, focus,
balance, core.
it takes everything.
And you don't realize it when you're doing, back then you're just trying to figure it out, and you don't think about it until you're not doing it anymore. And you're
right. And not only that, to be in the middle of a spin and then transition into another hold into while you're still spinning, that's beast mode right there to me. Like, when I see a spinner, girl, I'm like, kudos.
It's hard, and it looks so, and that's the beauty of it, right? It looks simple.
Yeah.
It just looks like you're spinning.
Yeah.
But the way you have to figure out your footing, you have to figure out how to step, you have to figure out everything,
how to be able to slow yourself down, speed up when you need to.
It's a lot more complicated than what people like realize and understand. And if I go to a club, like that's the kind of stuff I look for, you know, because we know what that technique in general looks like.
Right.
I'm like, ooh, you know, and things that probably don't impress many people is probably what's going to impress me. You know what I mean? They're like, what's so special about that? I'm like, you have no idea.
Yeah, you have no clue.
No clue.
And that's, it's crazy because, like, I don't know if you do this, but when I go to clubs now, being that I don't dance anymore, well, not
I'm the
dance
worst
anymore,
person to go to a club with.
But everybody's like, why aren't you doing anything? I'm like, I sit back and watch every girl first.
And I'll be like, she's down. She needs to point her toes.
Yeah. I'll be like, point your toes!
Point your toes! And they're like, how do you know that she's new? I'm like, as I'm sitting here going, like, I tell people all the time, I'm like, do not go to a club with me. I'm going to ruin it for you.
Yeah.
And I don't, it's not, I don't mean to judge because I respect any single person that walks on that stage because we all done it for the first time. And it's absolutely intimidating as hell. But you just learn and you notice certain things, like even the types of shoes that people are wearing, the chunkier heel, like beginner shoes, training wheels, like to the types of outfits people are choosing, to just the basics of pointing your toes. It makes a big difference. And I'll be that person when somebody comes down, I'm like, you're new to this, aren't you? And they're like, how'd you know? I'm like, point your toes. Yeah, just point your toes. That's it.
Listen, that's all you new girls. And even the old girls are semi old girls, because I see it with everybody, new, old, OG, triple OG. Point your toes. It makes a difference.
The littlest thing that makes the biggest difference. It really
you can
does.
be a flopping fish out of water, but as long as you got those toes pointed, you look like
you're
something.
A graceful flopping fish.
That's what I was gonna say next. You're a graceful flopping fish.
It's better to be a graceful flopping fish than a sloppy, floppy
It's
fish.
the truth, though. That pointed toe makes a huge difference.
And it accentuates.
Yes.
You can see the calf muscles. It makes your legs look longer, especially with the heels, blah, 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 on and on. So
don't forget to like, share, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. That's my favorite thing to say. So you said you were originally from Toledo.
Yes.
And you started dancing at 18.
Yes.
Okay. So
like right after I went to that club for the first time, I was like,
oh my God, we have so much in common that I didn't even know. Well, I started dancing at 17, but still, we have so much in common. So how did you end up in Delaware? From Toledo, Ohio.
I've been all over the place. So I went from Toledo, and my first big move away from my hometown was to Columbus. I was in Columbus, Ohio. Yep, I was there for many years, and over the course of time of being at this club, which was actually affiliated with Gold Club, I started dating one of the managers there, and then he got transferred to Delaware to the Gold Club, and took that over, and I came with him. And
was that a big decision?
I've always been a wanderer, so before this Delaware thing came up, I had went and just moved to Arizona for 6 months.
So how many clubs did you work at before you came to Delaware?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. So you were pretty much
I found a
by
club.
then.
Yeah,
okay. So you were dating a manager at this last club that you were at,
Mhm.
and he got a call to come manage at the sister club in
Mhm.
Delaware, Gold Club.
Yep.
And you decided to come with him.
Let's do it.
Okay.
We came here. So from Columbus to here, we drove, and we brought a roommate too.
Okay.
Were you there when Matt was there?
Matt.
Mm-hmm. I think he was there. Was he there at all? He might have been. I don't remember. He was at Columbus too. Anyway, he was our roommate, but he came with us from Columbus as well to Delaware. My Honda Civic. Okay.
I had a Honda Civic.
So you know how big they are.
Yes.
The three of us and whatever we could fit in the car.
Hold on, did you have the box one? I had the box one. Like the boxy shape?
No. It was the.
Do you remember what year? I don't even remember what year mine was.
Girl, you're taking it back.
I know. That's why I'm like, I don't remember what year mine was. But anyway,
I know. Brett was not a small guy.
No, he definitely was not.
Our roommate that came with us was not a small guy.
Mm-hmm.
And we fit a TV in there too.
Oh shit!
So 3 of us,
y'all was packed in there like some clowns.
Shit and whatever we could fit in that car, and we all came to Delaware.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So and stayed at I think we were at the Comfort Inn Suites by the Newcastle Airport.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we were living for the first couple weeks of being here. Until we found
a definite spot to stay.
Apartment, and then.
Well, damn, they didn't even give him an apartment for coming to fucking Delaware.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what the fuck? I would have been like, you have put me up in an apartment.
Oh, they paid for the hotel for 2 weeks. We got lucky.
Oh, thank you.
Another story.
Yeah. There's some aspects of the Gold Club that I love, but there's some aspects where it's like, are you fucking shitting me?
100%.
Yeah. But anywho, we're not even gonna touch base with that one.
How much time you got?
Right. So, Brett was his name.
Yep.
He was one of my favorite managers.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, he
was awesome. Now, how was it dating a manager as a dancer? Did you get shit from the other girls? Like, oh, she got away with that because she's dating the manager, or did you get shit like, they thought it was favoritism, or
a lot of people didn't know for a long time.
Yeah.
Because we tried to keep it very separated. And when I was at the club, he was not my boyfriend.
Conversations, like I said, he was one of my favorite managers. I remember having and it's crazy because when me and Tony had our conversation, there was a night I was just having a bad night, and I broke down in the office with him, and he was like, Jessica, he called me Jessica. He's like, listen, you're one of the most amazing girls in here. He was like, we all have bad nights. He's like, get yourself together, go home, pull yourself together. I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah. But it was the way that he did it that made me say to myself,
who cares?
Yeah,
it's not bullshit.
Yeah, it wasn't like a typical, because you know those managers. I don't know how to word it for people not in the industry, but people in the industry know. You have some of those managers where they're like, bitch, whatever, you're a stripper. But then you have ones that are genuinely because like I said, for him to call me Jessica.
Exactly. And I think that's what set him apart. You know what I mean? Is because, and why he was such a good manager, and why so many people genuinely can say he was one of the best managers, if not the best manager that they've ever had, was because he looked at you as a person.
Yep.
And he wasn't creepy.
Right. But not only that, he held everybody on the same level as him.
Yep.
He didn't look at you like he was better than you because he was a manager. He honestly held everybody on the same level. And he definitely was not creepy.
No, he wouldn't, you didn't feel like he was trying to hit on you or go in for something, you know what I mean? Or was comforting you to be creepy.
Yeah.
He was just a genuinely
Randy was creepy.
Right.
I can name a few. Randy was creepy. But Brett was definitely cool.
He was just genuine, and he saw everybody in there, male or female, whoever, it didn't matter. Just you're a person.
Yeah.
We have problems. Things happen, shit happens. Do you need a night?
Yeah.
Take it. Do what you need to do. Focus on you. Come back when you can.
Yeah. He was
that
super
meant a lot, 'cause
awesome
we're not used to that in that environment,
at all.
you know. So it meant a lot more, I think,
Yeah.
than most other places.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what, somebody's seeing me for like. Just like,
Mhm.
it's okay for me to have a problem. It's okay to me to have
Right.
an issue. Like, I'm allowed to do that. Like, that's
Right,
great. Like,
right. So when everybody found out about you and him, did you feel like you got backlash? Did you feel like people were looking at you
no, because
differently?
I think at that time we had been there long enough that it couldn't even be thrown out like that. You know what I mean? Like, we kept
it
it.
makes sense.
We kept it hidden as long as we possibly could.
Yeah, I can honestly say nobody knew.
Exactly. So when it did get out, like, I think we'd already been there long enough to where it's like, you can't even, there's nothing to stand on. You know what I mean? Like, that would be totally false.
Right.
Because I've never been treated differently than anybody.
Right.
So where would that come from all of a sudden now?
Right.
So
did you have any insecurities dating him? Because listen,
no.
there's one thing in the club world.
Mm-hmm.
The guys, majority of the people that work, like run the club, are males.
Yep.
DJ's a male, the manager's a male, security's a male, the cooks are male, bar backs are male. Really, the only females you see in there are the dancers, the bartenders, the house mom, waitresses. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I will say this: most of the men that get the pussy thrown at them is the DJs,
Mm-hmm.
the security, and the managers.
Yep.
So, did you feel any insecurities dating him as far as that goes?
Never.
Have you ever seen anybody throw it at him?
No, absolutely. Absolutely. But one, it's like,
hold on, but did you ever feel disrespected because they knew that you and him were together?
If somebody's not hitting on my dude, there's a problem.
Oh, I see. Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm a weird bird. I love it. Like, if you're not hitting on my dude, like, what the hell am I dating? I need to like reevaluate what I have. Thank you. I might need to.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, and I'm not a jealous person. Like, I will never hold somebody on a leash.
Yeah. Because
if I feel the need to keep you on a leash, then there's a reason. Like, there's no trust. You already did something. So then if there's no trust, then there's no relationship. Yeah. So I never questioned, and he always handled things very professionally, like from what I did see, regardless of what it was.
Right.
And to me, honestly, it's kind of like he would get so uncomfortable when he got hit on.
Right.
And to me, that was the funniest thing. Like, I would laugh my ass off because he's so uncomfortable trying to be professional and not be an asshole. And it was the greatest thing. I just sit back and laugh at him.
Are we froze? Are we good? I see Lorraine just said we're frozen.
Uh-oh.
But we're moving again, so let's see. Lorraine, are we still frozen? I think that's why we lost some viewers, because it dropped. Can somebody let me know if we're frozen? Either way, we'll still keep talking just in case. Now, did he? Do you think he? I know we can't speak for him, but do you think he had did he have any insecurities or any issues dating a dancer being a manager?
I think that because we were friends before we started dating, and we had known each other, and we were probably friends for about like 4 years or so before we started dating. So he already knew how I was in the club.
Gotcha.
He knew how I danced, what game I spit, how I was in the back.
I'm not frozen there either. Nobody's answering me. So
do you want me to check on mine?
Nope. Let's do this. I'll exit out all the way of mine and see if we can bring it back up. Because normally somebody will say, no, we're still in there.
So,
yeah. Hey, see now Ricky, are we frozen? Let me know, please. He said we're going in and out here and there,
Mm.
but we're good though, right? Okay, sort of a delay. Yeah, I have a delay on mine too. As long as I'm not completely frozen, I'm good. We're only a half an hour in, and I feel like we've been talking for like
I know.
an hour. Okay, so Ricky has a question. If you don't mind going off topic,
no.
He said, "What's your craziest client experience?"
So, I have to kind of segue into this a little bit.
Go ahead.
So I kind of, when I was at my club in Columbus, the DJ used to give us like all little taglines.
Mm-hmm.
And because I was the rocker chick and danced to hard rock and boots and whatever, his tagline for me was "Knocking your dicks in the dirt, you're Mistress Orion." Yes.
You had to say that again.
My entrance to my wonderful music that I would play, you know.
I hope y'all are hearing this.
My tagline was knocking your dicks in the dirt, you're Mistress Orion.
Everybody's backing up.
So now, mind you,
I love that.
This. So I started to get people who really thought that I was into the BDSM lifestyle.
Right.
And obviously, like, knew.
Right.
You know, didn't know. So, but of course, like, you're always going to say, like, well, not always within reason, but like, hey, are you really into like fetish and like,
right,
you know, hitting me or whatever? I'm like, yeah, of course, yeah. And then I went back for my first dance with somebody, and I was like, I'm sorry, it's okay. Like, totally freaked out because I never like just
right.
So, I ended up getting taught by a dom that came in who had lost his partner and called me out, like, you have no idea what the fuck you're doing. And I'm like, you are absolutely right. So he
gave me that tagline. I don't know anything.
He started bringing things in, and he would show me, like, I would work on like the chairs. So he taught me how to like
How cool was that?
properly whip, properly do this, that, and the other. And then when he felt I had learned enough, that's how he would buy dances. I would get permission from the girls, and then I would use them as my practice. Yes, It was awesome. So to answer your question, I had a guy, and you were there for him too. He would wear a shot collar at the Gold Club, and he would give me the remote, and he would tell me I could only have it at like level 5. Of course, I cranked that shit up to like 10.
Right.
And then when a girl would go and sit with him, and he would start drinking his beer, I would shock him at that time. And so
he was doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing.
Well, no, just because it was funny.
Oh, well, yeah. But he was taking it as that.
Yeah, so I would just walk around the club and just shock him whenever. He also, if he wasn't wearing the shot collar, he would wear a like chastity belt, and I would have the key, and I would feed him beers, and then he would have to beg me for the key in order to pee. I can't make this shit up if I wanted to. I also had a guy.
What was his name?
I can picture him in my head. I know exactly what he looks like, but I can't remember his name. I had another guy. This was back in Columbus. He would come in. He'd get a Bud Light. I'd go over, sit down with him, get the bottle at a certain point, pee in it, bring it back to him, sit it down, and go about my day. And he would drink my pee.
And how much did you, if you don't mind me asking, how much did he pay you for that?
I mean, it was every week, and it was like $150, $200.
Damn.
And then just go pee in a cup and then just pour it in the bottle.
Oh my god!
You know? And I literally said 2 words. Two words.
I thought I had the worst client experience ever, but I think that one had. I don't know. They might be on the same page.
What's yours?
So mine was. So I met him. First of all, he was the CEO of a very well known.
Oh, of course, they're the. Absolutely. Those are always the ones.
Yes,
girl.
Very well-known food company.
Gotcha.
I met him down here in Dover, probably 2 years into me dancing. And he he liked coming in the club, but he wanted to do private parties. And you know, at that point, I had no problem with that.
Right.
And he's like, I'm very particular. He's like, and before I even put you in this situation, I would rather talk to you about it first. And I said, oh, well, I definitely respect that. Like, you know, so what's going on? He said, I just want you to dance for me naked. He said, I don't want to touch you. I don't want you to touch me. He said, I just want to jerk off while you dance, and I'm gonna nut in a cup and I'll drink it. And I and I was like, huh? What? Like, and my reaction was seriously like, bro,
Right.
like, but he was like, I'll pay you good. And I said, well, what's good? I said, listen, it's
a lot because they know it's weird.
Yeah, well, to me, he might not find it weird, and to be honest, I didn't find it weird. It was just more or less like, I can't watch you like that'll make me gag. And
tell me what man wants to.
I don't think because everybody has their own zish. I can't judge anybody.
No, but like
it's weird. It is weird.
It's weird,
but to him, it's not. To us, yes.
It is though. But here's why I say it is. Those people and all of mine too. They were always like, hi, you know, people you'd never think.
Oh, girl.
That have and they know that they have the craziest fetishes, and that it's not the most common thing. But that's why they pay so much, and that's why I'm saying he knew
it would probably be an hour and a half, and I was walking out of there with a good $1,200, $1,400 for an hour and a half. Like, what? How many times a week you want to do this, bro?
And they're the most. And look, though, if they find somebody who you know, I would have guys that like stomping, kicking, smacking, you know, like choking. I mean, I would beat people up back there to the point where like the bouncers rarely checked on me anymore because if they heard me smacking people, they're like, "Oh, it's just Orion."
Oh yeah,
you know. And I'm like, well, what if I really needed you guys?
Yeah, right.
Listen, just a thought, you know. I mean,
and it a lot of people don't understand either that a lot of guys come in to get smacked around. Like, were you around for the guy that just wanted to get kicked in his balls with the heel? Was that you? Oh my God, that was you? Yo, you were the talk of the dressing room for like 2 weeks, bro.
You know how many people I have like
that was you
ball stomped and everything.
Yo, Kyle used to get a kick out of that shit. He used to come running in the dressing room going, he's back there now. He's back there now. I never knew it was you.
He stopped coming and checking on me a long time ago. He didn't even want to look anymore because like all he ever saw was literally me beating people up.
Yo,
you know, and like holding myself and like
yes, and it wasn't like
feel pressure.
And like, listen,
all
y'all have to understand. This wasn't like a. I'm talking about. Hold on.
Oh, it's a full blown kick. It's a full blown stop.
These are the kind of shoes. This was this is one pair of shoes that I wear now, but this is what I wear now. But back in the day, it might have been a little bit more higher.
That's how you know we're getting old. The heels go down.
The guys were getting kicked in their balls and their dicks with these, and I'm talking about like a full blown.
Yeah. I would have guys that wanted me to like, and I would.
Yes.
And just
yes. I never got any of those guys, thank goodness. But I have heard so many stories, and it's been you the whole time.
They're my favorite. Because they were easy too.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? They were respectful. They knew what they wanted. They told you. They didn't try anything.
Right.
You know, and then you just get like, how I need you to communicate. You know, like safe words a real thing, guys. You know, and that was it. Like easy money. They knew what they wanted. They were in. They were out. It was good.
Oh, thank you, Ricky. Ricky said we look absolutely great tonight. Everybody is laughing at
I'm sorry.
Our story. No, this is what we're here for. This is awesome. Hey Steve. Hey Ricky, hey Jake. Um, but yeah, like I never knew that was you majority of the time. That's crazy.
Yep. If you ever heard random smacks from anyone in the club,
No,
90% of the time it was me.
I never witnessed any of it. It was everybody when I would come into work the next day. Everybody was, but they never said who it was. They just said, "Oh my, this."
I'm
happened,
sure there
this
might
happened,
have
this
been
happened,
somebody
this
else
happened.
too, you know, in the
No,
mix. But like,
if you were talking, what we just talked about, it was definitely you.
Yeah, I was the main person that like I would grab
because I mean,
would get those people, you know. So
a lot of guys like to kick them, but there's a difference in them that you know the difference in them, and that one dude was definitely you.
I had another guy where he wanted to be humiliated. Like,
oh my god, there's so many of them.
So I took his belt and I, you know, but he was my dog, and I walked him around to different tables and stuff like that, made people pet him, and
that was Gold Club, right? I remember
Yep.
that one time.
Yep, that was fun.
I remember that. I remember that.
Yep. So yeah, I had all the fun stuff like that. That was kind of like inadvertently became my niche.
Yeah.
In my like stamp calling card, whatever. Yeah. And I just embraced it. You know, like why run away from it?
I was gonna say, but I think it fit you though.
And it ended up being great. You know, it did fit, but at the time back then, you know, like it was not me at all. You know, like I was very like, yeah. I think the only person I'd hit by then at that point was my brother.
Right.
You know what I mean? Growing up, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna hit this stranger, and like
they love it though. It's so crazy.
And I just embraced it instead of running away from it. And that's probably what I miss the most, is being able to like get paid to like smack people in the face.
So Ricky said, so did any other worker ever try to steal a client from either one of you?
Of course.
Oh, all the time.
All the time.
All the time. Listen, this is what I tell everybody.
Nobody's mine.
No. Well, you can correct me if you're wrong. I'm gonna tell you what I think. A lot of people run around here and say, "Oh, that's my customer. That's my customer. That's my customer." No, sweetheart. The only way you can claim that man as your customer is if he walks in this bar and he sits down, and another lady walks up to him and sits down, and he says, "No, I'm here for sunshine and only sunshine." That's when that customer is your customer. Right. If he tips somebody else, and don't get me wrong, he can still be your customer and show love to anybody else. Absolutely. But if he's only doing dances with sunshine, he's only doing VIPs with sunshine, he doesn't want any other entertainment but sunshine, then that is sunshine's customer. Yep. Now, if he comes in and oh, that's my customer, and you come in and sit next to him and he entertains you and he gets dances from you, honey, that ain't my customer, because my customer wouldn't do that. Right. Exactly. And I think that's the biggest thing, is like people are so quick to say because somebody got a couple dances and came back next week that's their customer, that's their customer. Right. You know, and it's not, you know, and just because I'm there, that's my customer, like mine, like legit mine this week, doesn't mean another girl's not going to come in and take it away. Right. You know, and I think the biggest thing is like, I'm going to get mine regardless. Right. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Would I like it to be easy and not have to spit game and go the easy? Of course. Yeah. You know what I mean? But, and that's what I liked about you and I, is there was a respect. Yeah. And I think that's why we work so well together with different customers that we kind of like interacted with together, is, you know, neither of us are being greedy. We knew what it was, you know, which is, we didn't overstep the bounds. So let's give them an example. Chris. Everybody knows Chris and him passing. We had this conversation with Tony. Chris adored her. And he's the one that actually started me and you dancing together on stage. I think we both loved how each other danced. I just don't think we realized how similar we were together. Right. You know what I mean? Our styles pointed it out. Yep. And I, just like she said, I was not the jealous type. and Chris would come in the club. And I used to say all the time, if it's your customer, he won't even come in the club if you're not there.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew how Chris felt about you. And I knew it wasn't a disrespect thing on
Mm-hmm.
his end. And I knew it wasn't, I'm trying to steal him from her on your end.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't bother me.
Yeah. And like I said, I think we both knew, like, I loved when I had that time, but I also knew when to like step away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's why we shared so well.
Yeah.
Because we were just appreciative of what it was and had fun with it. And then when it was like, okay, I probably should go and let them have some time.
Right.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
And it worked out well.
We had so many fun times together.
Oh,
all three of us.
Yes, we did.
It was, Chris used to buy us bottles.
Awesome.
We just had so much fun.
Mm-hmm. And he just wanted to see us have fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
genuinely, he did.
Yeah,
he did. And that's the thing that I loved about him, because he always used to tell me, have fun. Like, stop being so serious. Like, have fun. Because I used to be stressed. I'm like, I got to make this amount of money. I got to make this money. I got to make... Jessica, stop. And he wouldn't... That's how he would do me.
Right.
Jessica, stop.
Yep.
You already know I got you. Like, stop it.
Yep.
Have fun. Can we get a shot for her over here? She needs another shot. That's how it would go. Yeah. But no, the one thing I hate with girls is they used to try to give your customer a sob story.
My car's broke down. I don't know how I'm gonna get home. My boyfriend kicked me out and I have nowhere to sleep tonight. I need money for a hotel room.
Yes.
I don't know what I'm going to do to get to work tomorrow.
Oh my God. It was you know how many stories Chris would tell me?
I can only imagine.
And I'm not even going to name the girls because it's sad, because I know all of them.
Oh, I
like y'all knew who he was with me. So I don't even know why y'all tried him. But I know why they did, because he wore his heart on his sleeve.
Absolutely.
He was a sucker. And I hate to say that about him, but he knew it.
Pure, genuine person. Understanding, like, if you guys work together.
Listen, it's funny now because we're glitching. Okay, there we go. It's funny now because you see because I'm still active in the club scene, so it's funny because I see girls, like there's this one guy that comes into the club, and I swear he tries to pin these girls against each other all the time. And he knows what he's doing.
Of course.
Like, because, so when I had came down to the club, I went over to him. He wouldn't deal with me because he knows you can't play me. I'm too deep in this game. You can't get over on me.
There's nothing that you can say or anything that I haven't heard.
But he'll pull these little young new girls or semi-new girls, and they'll fall for everything he says. So my whole thing is, I tell them all the time, I said, if he likes you and likes you, then team up and get the money together. Well, I don't like her. I said, listen, you know how many girls that I have not liked where I've been like, girl, hey, boo-boo, how you doing? Let's fake it until we make it. And when this dance is over, when this night is over, bitch, fuck you. I wish you would say something to me again. I'll smash your fucking face into the wall.
It's easier too when you have two people giving a dance to one person. You're not doing too much
at all.
And
if you're the boss bitch, you'll let her do all the
work and stand there and be like, good girl.
It's the truth.
Yeah,
it's the honest to God
absolutely truth. And that's the thing. And I think that's what's gotten lost in this is, just make it easy.
Right.
Make it easy.
What do you mean, Ricky? Who do I ask for? Tony said it's like old home weeks when you two together. I know. I miss you, so Tony. Excited. Like, you don't even. We sat here for like a good hour doing our makeup, getting ready, just talking about everything. From blast from the past. No, I knew you were joking. I just didn't understand, like, who do I ask for? Like, I didn't know what you meant by that. That's what I was asking. I knew you were joking. Yeah, but oh my God, we got so off.
I know. I'm sorry.
No. I love this because
such good things to talk about.
Yeah, like that's like I said, this is the reason why I wanted to do this because it helps the new girls and
absolutely.
us OGs in the game are giving y'all free game.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so crazy because like when I go, I'm very well known in Delaware because like I started dancing at 17. I'm 40. When you mention Sunshine, you won't hear DIOR down here.
Right.
But when you mention Sunshine, she's known. So when I went back to dancing down at Whispers, I got like bombarded because all the girls were like, "Oh my God, you're Sunshine. Oh my God, Crystal said this and Desire said this and oh my God, like you're the best. And if I needed any help to go to you and like you could teach me this and I'm like, okay." And then I feel bad because I can't do all of those pole tricks that I used to be able to do. So you guys pump me up to be this crazy pole girl. But still, even when I get on the stage, the girls are still in awe because of the way we
like it used to be. It's not back exactly. When I started.
Right.
It was about the tease. It was about the curvature. It was about accentuating like what and the movement. Exactly. And that's a lost art now. Yeah. You don't find that very often in clubs. It's same shaking booty.
Well, not only that, it's
give me money.
There's that's it. Yeah, listen, I can show up to work at 6 o'clock and we close at 1 and I won't get on stage not one set. And then when I'm in the back counting my money, the girls are like, "You didn't even get on stage. How'd you do that?" I'm like, "Cause I'm not dumb. My talk game is vicious, A, and B, do you think I'm gonna drive 45 minutes and not have one of my regulars come in and take care of me?"
Exactly.
What? No.
It became like work smarter, not harder. You know what I mean? And it's like everybody's doing too much.
And they have to understand, I don't care what you do on that stage. I don't care if you can flip upside down into a headstand, pop your booty, jiggle your tit. It doesn't even matter. It's your conversation.
Absolutely.
I learned that quick. But not only I loved Poland. Like,
me too.
I loved it.
Me too. But you have to learn. Look, newbies, watch Sports Center. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even joking. Yeah. I can't tell you how many times like that led me to more money because I watched highlights or a little bit of what I needed to know to be able to communicate or talk sports to a guy when they came to the club. And then they look at me like, "What?" Right. And that makes a big difference, just little things like that. You don't gotta know everything. Right. Watch the top 10. Oh, did you see that play? Whatever. Like, that is so impressive to people. Yeah. And I made a lot of money just by knowing sports. Yeah. And that was my thing. When I first started dancing, I was like, what do I say? Like, how do I even start a conversation? Like, how do I initiate a conversation? Because believe it or not, most men do come in the club just to watch the game or just to have a conversation. They're not really, a lot of them aren't in there to watch you shake your ass. A lot of them genuinely want a conversation. How many watch the music videos? Wow, I didn't see that music video before. I'm like, oh my God. Like, literally watching the music videos, not the stage. Like, there was a music video to this? I'm like, But not only that, like, how many times, do you remember white guy Brian that used to come in? He used to stand on this side of the bar by the game, and he used to get hundreds and ones and just throw the whole stack. He wouldn't unravel or anything. He was so much fun because he showed love to everybody. But not only that, whenever there was like a like Super Bowl or the NBA, he brought all his homies in, and like we literally had like a little party in that section, just watching whatever was going on. Like, I think it was the NBA. I never got into basketball that much in my life until Brian came in that night, and we were having our own little section party that night and had a ball. And he was still giving us money. Yep. And I think that's something too. Like, dances do not equal money all the time. You don't have to get dances to make money. Right. You could do 0 dances a night and make more than you did doing however many dances the night before. Tony said I was there for the wings. Look, those are some good wings.
Oh my God.
Gold Club, I don't know what it is. Those
Listen, the
so
wings
good.
and the tacos. Taco Tuesday. Bitch.
I ate those wings all the
Girl.
When people just come into the club for wings, you know there's good wings. They didn't come to see us; they came to eat the wings.
Yes.
And they get them to go.
Oh my God.
They pay $10
I was about to say that.
Order 2 things of wings. Go.
People would call in and order. I used to remember I worked the door.
Yep.
For like it wasn't a year. It was close to a year, but it was 6 to 9 months I worked the door. I had people calling in to place orders for wings. And I'm like, you can't do that. You have to come in.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, well, you're a restaurant, but we're a strip club first.
Right.
So you need to come in here, tip some bitches, and order your wings.
And they would never tip. They would just come and get the wings and leave. Absolutely. They wouldn't even cross that threshold of like where the DJ, they go right up to the bar, to the side closest to the
kitchen.
Yep.
Yes.
And like wings.
Yes.
And then they just sit there.
Yep.
I'm not gonna make eye contact.
Yep.
I'm not gonna look. I
Where
ain't
that
I don't want any money.
The bar. Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh my gosh. It was a mess. But them wings were jumping. Though.
They were slamming. They were good.
Them wings was popping.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what they use. I don't know why.
And it was crazy because we went through different cooks, so it wasn't like
and they were always it was always the same. Like what are you doing?
It wasn't like that particular cook made.
I remember there's a lot of butter. There was a lot of butter.
Was it?
Oh yeah, a lot of butter. And I don't know. It might have been Frank's Red Hot, possibly, but there was a lot of butter.
Frank's Red Hot is good though.
Mm-hmm. And there was some kind of mix with that, but yeah, butter was definitely involved.
But that's what I'm saying. It definitely couldn't have been just one cook that was like, oh, well, he made the. No, it was like, it don't matter how many cooks it was. Everybody had those.
Everybody. It was so good. I'm like, why did I never get taught that class?
Listen,
of how to make those wings before I left.
That's what we all should have learned.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we all should have learned. Tony, why didn't you do that?
Tony, do you still remember the recipe?
No, we didn't have any oxtail. I know. Tony would know. Tony, you should know that.
What's the recipe?
Give it up.
I feel like this is like the KFC, recipe that we're trying to get right now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, so let's open up the chat. Let's see if anybody has any more questions. Oh, Tony said I have to keep my secrets. Boy, beat it. I'm gonna choke it out of you. So let's see. So why did you end up leaving? Well, hold on. When you left the Gold Club, you stopped dancing altogether, correct?
Yeah.
So why did you decide to leave?
So it was getting to a point where, like I said, when I feel old. Back in my day, when we, but like when I first started, it was very much like you might look. There's always going to be girls that are going to push the envelope and do more than what they should, right? But when I got to the end of my time, it was only 1 or 2 girls that weren't doing shit. You know what I mean? And it got to the point where like, I know my boundaries.
Right.
And, I always knew them. Learn to be assertive in the club. You got to really know yourself and learn it quick or else it's going to be a rough road for you. And I would go back into a room for a dance. And the first thing somebody would do was unbutton their pants and unzip their fly. And I'm just like, and I would just stand there. And I'm like,
right.
And they're like, well, she did it. Well, am I she? Like,
right.
No, like I'm an individual.
Right.
But it just that became the norm.
Yeah.
And,
I have to agree with you.
And I didn't have like some big like goodbye thing because I think genuinely my hope, because I loved it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
For many, many years, I was hoping that it was a break.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it'd be a finale.
Right.
And I just never went back.
Right.
But I didn't want like the farewell
mm-hmm.
because then I knew it was final too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and I had an amazing experience with it.
Yeah.
And it did a lot for me, like as a person and knowing myself and who I am.
Right.
So
you've never done anything extra ever. of course, guys have offered.
Mm-hmm.
Would you, if the price was right?
No.
Why?
Because to me, that's the thing I hold on for a person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That there's no price tag. You know, you can look at my body, I can give you a lap dance, whatever, but all of me is for somebody. And it doesn't look, I'm not saying it's gonna be the same person, you know what I mean? Because we break up with people, relationships change, whatever. But like for me, I you know, I'm in this world. Like the last thing that I had to give to somebody fully, and I didn't want to not give that unless it was worth giving to someone. You know, so
That's a good answer.
Money couldn't buy it for me.
Yeah.
Know? Trust me, I've been tempted. I'm not gonna lie and say that there were so many times where I was just like, I wish I didn't have fucking morals.
That's why I said, if the price was right, would you have?
No, I just couldn't, you know, and trust me, there were times where I really wish I didn't have morals, you know. But that was just my stopping point, you know. It's just something I wasn't willing to cross over, you know.
Yeah.
So
listen, I understand. Have you ever been in a 2-girl dance or a VIP and the other girl has done something where you've been like,
I stand there. Look, I'm getting the same amount of money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you want to do what you want to do, that's fine. I'll just.
Was it like it just happened, or did she tell you about it beforehand?
No, it just went. Like I don't know if that was just something that was their kind of norm, or you know whether that person they've been with before and that was just they hadn't understand. I don't know. You know, it's not mine to judge, but what a person does is what they do. You know what I mean? And I don't know people's situations. I don't know what their struggles are. I don't know if they know that's the only way they think they can make money. I don't know. You know, I'm not going to judge that. But for me, I knew it wasn't. You know, and you can tell me to leave.
Right.
I'm still getting the same amount of money.
Right.
You know, so either way, I don't lose out on it. So if you want to do that, like by all means, I'm not going to.
To each their own.
Yeah.
So this is one thing I've always stood firm on, and I always get other girls' opinions on it. Do you honestly think that you can have a real, genuine friendship in this industry?
Yes. And I'll tell you why. Because how long has it been since we've talked?
Oh my God. I don't even know. I mean, minus, you mean in real life, not social media?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Last time you saw me? Did we pick up like we never? And that's why, you know, I think it looks very different than, for lack of a better word, like normal friendships or relationships. Right. But there is like a sisterhood about it. There is something special to be said about it, you know, like it's a very controversial, you know, stigmatized industry. Yeah. Where everybody has an opinion on who you are and whether you agree with it or not, you know what I mean? Like we know what that is. So right there's a common denominator. Yeah. You know, and I don't have to see somebody all the time, but there's a special connection that most people aren't going to have. Right. Because of the experiences that we've had. Right. You know, so yeah, I do. You know, I do think that those exist. Yeah. They just might not look like your everyday run-of-the-mill friendships.
Yeah, I feel like you can, but they're few and far in between.
Absolutely.
Like,
and you learn. You learn very quickly.
Yeah. And that was another thing I was going to say. I've been in this business a long time, and I probably can count on maybe two hands real friends that I have gained throughout my career. Real.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Not that, you know, oh, well, I'll see you at work. Like, no, I have a big issue with this, and it's always been a pet peeve of mine, and it started years and years and years ago. I had friends that had kids before me, and they used to allow their kids to call me Sunshine, and I hated that because I was like, that's not who I am. Yeah. Like, because sooner or later the kids are going to be like, Miss Sunshine, is that your real name?
Right.
Like, where'd you get? And then, you know what I mean? Like, and regardless of how I spin it, I still would feel some type of way because it's like, that's not who I am.
Right.
And even with the kids' parents, so-called friends, if you call me Sunshine outside of the club, I don't think that we have the friendship that you think that we have.
Right.
Because I turn into Sunshine when I walk through those doors. When I walk out of those doors, I am Jessica.
Yep.
So if you can't call me Jessica outside of those doors, then we don't, and don't tell me, oh, it's easier for me to remember Sunshine because I'm around you all day, every day. No, you're not, because from 6 o'clock in the morning when I wake up to when I go to work, y'all aren't around me. And even if you are around me, you're only around me from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. Right. What do you mean? You're like, that's easier for you to call me Sunshine because you're around me all the time. That's not being around me all the time.
Right. Yeah, and for me, there was always, I knew that it was going to have an ending, so there was always like, I never got caught up in the lifestyle. Yeah. It was the club and then it was home. Yeah. But yeah, I've been to people's weddings, in the birth of their kids and birthday parties and baby you know what I mean? So there is something special there. Yeah. And who knows what it turns into and looks like after we kind of move and grow or whatever. But like those are real. Those are real moments. Yeah. Those are big moments. So it might not look orthodox. Right. I think it exists. Yeah. Even if it's just for a moment. Right. Right. So yeah, I just with that, I like I said, I think you can, but like you said, you have to determine that early to figure out if you think it's a real friendship or not. Like, and even with customers, I feel like you can genuinely have a good relationship with a customer. Absolutely. Like, and I used to tell Chris all the time, once we hit a certain point, I'm like, bro, you're not my customer. You're my friend. You're my friend. You're my friend. Like, you're not my customer. You're my friend. Yep, absolutely. And because I used to have a friend, a mutual, well, I introduced her to him, and she used to, even around him, she used to be like, your customer. I'm like, he's not my customer. He's my friend now. Agreed. Like, we genuinely opened that door and built a friendship. So no, he's not a customer. And I honestly think that you can have that. I do too. And I have had people that I've met in the club who became friends outside of the club, and they were all blessings, It wasn't like, oh, you're my friend, let's go meet, you know what I mean? It took a while for us to get to that point, it wasn't overnight, but yeah, they became friends, you know? You ladies ever meet any celebrities? Yes. Good night, Steve. Good night, Jen. Tony said, I don't like either of you. We don't like you either. Rude. Yeah, I think me and Tony touched base with this in mine. Did you meet any celebrities in your dance career? Yeah, I've met a few. Busy Bone from Bone Thugs. Did you really? Oh, he loved me. I was like, they would call me when he was in because, so back then, I don't know how he's doing now. This is many, many years ago. Let me just put that out, put that on there. He struggled with his own substance use and stuff like that, but he had like legit like 7 different personalities that would come in. Oh shit. I kid you not. There was Brian, who was him, like there was Busy. There was like a flamboyant, and they all drank something different. I swear to God. So whoa. Yeah, Brian drank beer, Busy drank like the hard liquor and everything. But he was a bit much. He almost got into a fight arguing with himself in the mirror because he thought somebody was fronting on him. And where was this at? What club was this? Oh, in Columbus. Okay, I figured that. Yeah. But yeah, like for whatever reason, he loved me. He passed out in his Crossroads suit in the back parking lot of our club, like full like white Crossroads video, like out, just done ski. But I was waitressing at the time, and I remember he had like a little table. All the girls were around him, stacks and stacks and stacks, and I was like short on money and came in to dance that night. Never saw, like, he just saw me waitress, so I didn't pay no mind because people are engaging or whatever. But I went to go check into the DJ booth, and I'm coming out, and he goes, "Orion," and I was like, "What?" He goes, "Put your fucking clothes on." And I said, like, I gotta work, dude.
Right,
you
I
know?
got your money, honey.
He's like, I said, "Go put your clothes on." Goes, "Go." I said, "Okay."
I know that's
Talk
right.
about pissing some people off. Yeah, pissing people off big time. But Tony Hawk came in.
Ooh, good one.
They were a lot of fun, but it was like that whole crew, like Tony Hawk, Bucky Lassick, like all of them. They were great. They were so respectful. They were cool.
Yeah.
They just sat, chilled, talked, champagne rooms.
The one thing that I can not to cut you off, and maybe you can agree with me on this because you have met some celebrities. I have figured out when it comes to celebrities,
Pretty much it.
that or you ignore them.
Oh yeah, and they're instantly
and they'll be on you
because they're used to people seeing them and reacting to them. So when you're doing something different and you're not paying them any mind, then they're intrigued of like, why? Like, why don't you like me? Like, why aren't you talking to me? Don't you know who I am? Like, don't you know who I am?
Right.
You're in my house.
And that's crazy. That's the same attitude I used to have with them. I'm like, I don't care who you are, bro. You know who the fuck I am? I run shit here. You in my building now.
My building.
Right.
I didn't come to you. You came to me.
Right. But I learned that.
Yep, absolutely.
In one of my city clubs in Jersey that I worked at, and I was only there for like maybe 3 weeks. And I'm not gonna say who I met, but ignored the shit out of him. And he was, and I've never told anybody this. I didn't even tell Tony this in our story, but I never will give up his name. But he was like, why? He went and had somebody come get me, and was like, why are you not talking to me? And I'm like, bro, I'm gonna say to you. Yeah, I'm like, you're another customer in the club. I'm here to make money.
Right.
So if you're not giving me any money,
then you're nothing.
Then I'm not giving you any attention. So he literally gave me $1,000 and was like, well, can I have your attention? I was like, I'm all ears.
Yep.
What's going on? But yeah, if you ignore them, or if you treat them like shit,
it's amazing. Cone from Sum 41. I'm still friends with Sum 41. They were big back in the day.
I've heard that name.
You know him if you heard him. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But we're still friends to this day, and it's because I told him his band sucked and I didn't like him. So if he's in town, then then he's able to. We'll catch up.
Yeah.
He'll give me free tickets. I'm like, who's opening for you?
Right.
Because I want to see you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've had a lot of like cool experiences like that, and met a lot of cool people. And
I think there's probably like 3 celebrities where I would really be like, oh my god,
right?
Like I need to talk to them. I need to
right.
But like
few and far between.
Yeah. Other than that, like. No.
I think we all have like our couple that like if I saw that person, like, oh my god, but as a whole it's just like you're just another person.
Yeah, I'm this. I don't know. I just
because it's our work.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's like I understand you guys are celebrities. I understand you guys are paid to be here, and we're supposed to give you attention. But the club is supposed to pick out certain bitches to send over in your direction.
Right.
It's not my fault that they didn't pick the ones that
you want.
Yeah.
And plus, I am an independent contractor. I am not getting paid to be here. So if I make $0, guess what? I'm not leaving home with zero, going home with $0. I am now in the negative because of all the fees that I didn't pay either. So I'm not going to sit and do nothing because I'm not making anything if I'm not making anything. Nobody else is paying my bills.
Exactly.
So
exactly. And people don't understand that. Like, people think because we're dancers and they see all this stuff on Instagram, on these reality shows where these dancers and it's the stage is covered in green and It's not.
That's not all the time.
Like that.
Does that happen?
Yes.
Is it like that's what's happening to me every single night on the Tuesday when I'm there?
Right.
No. I mean, so just I was the rocker chick, and Gold Club, you know, as time went, like it was primarily African American population. Yes. On a Friday and Saturday night, they would put me on stage to clear it out. I am not joking.
I believe it.
So don't think that, you know what I mean, just because we're doing it. And because I was the rocker chick and I stayed true to it, you know what I mean? And I remember I fell on stage. It was like somebody's beat or something. And like, not, oh, like, haha, I went down into something, you know, and caught it. Oh, no, like, fell. Not one person saw. And a row, like, completely full. That stage was full. Not one person saw me fall. So if that tells, you know what I mean? Like, it can be, just because it's full doesn't mean you're making $1. And there were plenty of times where, like I said, if you're putting me on to clear out a club, that says a lot. Yeah. You know, and that happened more than once, just because it's late. Put on the rocker girl. But nobody wants to see it.
But to be honest, from when I worked with you, there was a lot of the black dudes that liked you.
There was. So it was one of two ways, right? Like the people that consistently came in, that's where the respect came, where I never changed. Right. I might learn different things. I might learn to dance to different types of music, but when it comes to mine, I'm still going to do mine. Right. So I think there was an appreciation and respect there. But just people coming in that that weren't there usually. Yeah. That's when you would see like,
I didn't. Everybody looked at me like, oh, she's the snooty, stuck up, you know, chick. But once they got to talk to me, they know me. It was a totally different thought process. But it's crazy because
it was the same thing as vice versa.
I was going to say, black guys didn't like me. I got all the white dudes. Yep. And like we were talking before we got on, I danced to all rock when I first started dancing. I didn't start dancing to hip hop, all honestly, until I came to Gold Club working night shift. Yep. Before then, day shift and any other club before that, I was the rock girl, the alternative girl. Yep. I didn't dress like that, but that's what I danced to. Because that was the flow of music. I can't do my flow to the hip hop music. Right. It was my movement. Like, girl, Nickelback, 3 Doors Down, Creed,
Mudvayne, Korn, Deftones,
Limp Bizkit, like all that. Yeah, Deftones. Oh my gosh. Deftones. Yes. Insane Clown Posse.
Oh, like, girl, you taking it back.
Girl, like how do I know about
show that? Our age? Come on.
But that's what I'm saying. How do I know about?
No, yeah, absolutely.
Like that was my zhish. That's what I loved,
and that's why, you know. And I talked to you about this before. Is why I love dancing with you, is because you adapted, and I tried to adapt too, you know, and I would get so much shit sometimes from people like, oh my God, I gotta go on stage with her because they did not want to dance with my music. I'm like, I don't want to dance to yours, but I'm gonna figure it the fuck out, because I don't want to look, again, it goes back to like when I first started dancing, I don't want to look like an idiot, you know.
But like we said before, if you're a dancer,
you're gonna figure it out.
You learn how to dance to everything.
Nope.
Period.
Because you should.
Because you don't have any control about who you're gonna get on stage with. Sometimes you're on stage, if it's a big club, you're on stage with 3 or 4 different girls, because there's 4 different stages. Yep. So you will only dance probably to one of your songs that you'd like to dance to out of that whole rotation.
Absolutely.
So throw me on stage with one other girl that dances to something different than me, where I can dance to 2 of my songs and she can dance to 2 of hers, or one of mine and 2, and I'm good to go.
Good. But you never it was never an issue. You know what I mean? Right. Like it was just like, and that's like, thank you.
But we also got lucky because Brett was the manager. We took advantage of that in some aspects. And then Tony being my best friend, being the DJ, I could tell to put. Yep. I don't care what the rotation was. Tony put me on stage. Absolutely. And he will. Put me on stage with Orion right now, and he will.
Yep. So, and I would do the same with someone I could. I'd be like, this is my only time in this Saturday night. I have a very small window.
Exactly.
Put me on stage now.
But then as soon as Chris walked in, it was put us on
Put us on
stage.
now.
As soon as he walks in,
Yep.
put us on stage. And then whenever he was ready for us to go back up, that's what we were doing.
Yep. And it was fun. It was fun, you know, like it worked. It was just effortless, you know, and that's what was really awesome about it.
Yeah, and I'm so happy that I had a chance to meet you, and I was blackmailed, Tony said.
We know not what you speak of.
Right. Well, we took very good care of you, Tony. No, so we're gonna end this with, because we've reached our, I try to keep it an hour and a half.
Oh, good girl.
But I'm gonna end this with, I'm so glad God put you in my life when he did, because I am a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. And I'm blessed that you were brought into my life, because you taught me a lot, believe it or not. And I had so much fun with you.
I had so much fun with you. And I think, you know, I think we all taught each other something along the way. You know, like we were all discovering ourselves. It's a very influential time, you know, and I gained just as much from you. And, you know, just being a little bit different from that club, you know, there could be challenge, just like you had that night with Brett where you were breaking down. I had those nights as well, just trying to stay true to myself and what I was comfortable with. You never ever made me feel like it was like, God, why do you have to answer this? God, why is that? No. But that meant a lot with, you know, the club we worked at. You know, that meant a lot. You know?
I think that's why we meshed well together, because I looked at, even though I was a black girl, I still was, even with Shay, even at Shay would be like, Shay would force me to work some nights, especially when we had some of the features come in, but I knew it was going to be OD hood black dudes. And Shay would be like, bitch, just come. And I'm like, Shay, they don't like me. I don't have a butt. That's what they want. I don't have that. Shay's like, girl, you can work the pole. I got the ass. I'll shake the ass. You work the pole. Like, thank God for her as well. But I think that's why we mesh, because still at the end of the day, I was dealing with things, even though I was working in the all black club. They still didn't like, because I didn't have the big butt.
They could relate.
Yeah.
They could relate.
Honestly.
Even if it was unspoken and we didn't know what it was, I mean, that's what it was.
And we still trooped through that bitch through a Friday night with all hood motherfuckers.
Like, you can't tell me nothing about me.
Like,
okay?
I wish a motherfucker would.
I haven't been in a club in 10 years. I will still walk in that bitch and own it. My ass might not be getting up that pole no more. I would respect your space. I get in, get out, do my fucking thing, and keep it moving.
Look, I think this is perfect because it's glitching again. So I think it's like.
But thank you for having me on this thing, because this was absolutely awesome, and it's good to go back to those times.
So now we got enough time for us to, let's get this ending before we glitch again. Tony said, not to mention you beat me up. Orion, you were awesome. You guys had a great show.
Oh, thanks.
Okay.
She had a great show.
Yeah, so we're going to end this exactly at 9:30 mark. I just want to say thank you to Tiffany, aka Orion, for coming. And you were my third interview, so I'm so happy about that. Guys, don't forget, whole truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Don't forget to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend. Like, share, comment.
Tell them about me.
And I'm going to talk to her off air, because I might have a little suggestion that she might go for if she's down for it. And it just popped in my mind now.
Oh, good Lord.
I've been talking to people about this for a while, but I think, So I might have a surprise here if she goes with it soon. So stay tuned and keep your notifications on, because I might pop up with a side video to with some surprising news. So we'll leave it at that. So thank you so much.
I want to know the news too. So look, we're all on the same page.
You'll hear as soon as we're done. But thank you so much for being on. I so appreciate it. You are the freaking best ever. And I'm so glad we were able to touch base again, like we always never skip a beat.
I know. And that's pretty special.
Yes.
So I love it.
I see you guys.
Bye guys. Thanks.